Let's talk Gabe Biancheri. Ever since Ineos have taken charge of Manchester United and took over football operations at the football club, there has been a clear drive in the recruitment department to try and bring in the best young talent from around the world. We have seen players like Obi Martin come in, Kone come in, Lascelles come in, Overy come in, just over this one summer alone that Ineos have been in charge of Manchester United. But what have we actually already got at the club? And look at that, the talent that's already there within Manchester United's academy already. I want to talk about Gabriele Biancheri and why he is being talked about so much at United at the moment. Before we get into everything in the video, please, again, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody for all your contributions, all your interactions, your likes, your comments, and new people that have subscribed to the channel. We want to keep that going, so please do hit that subscribe button, the bell notification next to it, to make sure you miss out on no free content coming your way here on Forever United TV, covering everything from the under-18s all the way through to stories in and off the pitch and everything around the football club right now. There is loads to talk about, and you won't miss out on anything if you hit that subscribe button. Please give the video a like, and let's get into what's actually going on. Biancheri. Why now? Why are people talking about him? A player that United brought in from Cardiff's under-21 academy in 2023. Last season was his first season, his breakthrough season in the under-18s, and he didn't disappoint. 17 goals in the games for the under-18s that he played in, and also made some appearances for the under-21s as well. At just that ripe old age of 16-17, it is a step up for a young academy player at that stage, but he managed to get 2 goals in the under-21s as well. Coming in and covering for the likes of bigger players within the under-21s while they went on to first team action, you can clearly see the pathway that United are trying to make for these young academy players coming through. But Biancheri seems to be breaking all sorts of records in the academy at the moment. The under-18s, obviously part of that treble winning unbeaten side last season, Biancheri with his 17 goals there, and has started this season with an absolute bang, with 9 goals in 6 games already. There is even talk around Manchester United that he may even make this week's squad for the FC20 Europa League game. How is that happening? Well, you're obviously allowed 12 substitutes on the bench for the European games. You're not like you can use all of them subs, but you are allowed to name 12. And some people have even said that Biancheri could actually be on the bench for Manchester United against FC20 this week. I doubt it, with the likes of Ethan Wheatley being in front of him, and Wheatley being that star player from last season with mainly all of the goals for Manchester United. An absolutely fantastic season for him. And we've seen him make the odd appearance for Manchester United last season as well. He would see himself as ahead in the actual pecking order, I feel, ahead of Biancheri, and I just feel like that's where Manchester United are probably looking right now. But that's not to say that Biancheri isn't actually making his name for himself and really making the likes of Jason Wilcox and everyone who in and around Manchester United's academy celebrate at the potential of this kid. Like 9 goals already scored in every single game this season. Manchester United are 4 wins out of 4, carrying on where they left off from that unbeaten treble-winning season last season. You cannot ignore the quality of the players coming through, from the likes of Fletcher that's just joined from City. Obviously, Darren Fletcher's 2 sons, Jack, mainly shining through at the moment. Biancheri. There are lots of players. We're seeing Ethan Wheatley, like we've just said. We've also got Harry Amass coming through from left back. We've seen Collier play this season as well. It is a conveyor belt. Add to that, like we said at the start, the likes of Lascelles being brought in, Obi Martin being brought in, Kone from Guiders FC, which Christopher Vivel was a big part of. And knowing that you have got the people behind the scenes like Wilcox and Vivel, and the drive and what we've got in the academy set up already, which has been improving over the last couple of years, and last season alone just showed the dominance that Manchester United have got in this department. All of the stress and drama around the first team at the moment, we need to obviously make sure that we do pay attention to the youth team and players like Biancheri and what they're doing there, because these players under Ten Hag, since he's came in, and that academy, and I know this for certain because of interviews and people I've spoken to from within Manchester United, is that this academy team is playing exactly the same way that the first team are trying to get to, and this is what Manchester United are going to be working towards. It's important to remember that Biancheri coming through, and in years gone by would have thought that's just another player, like for instance instance, Iqbal, like for instance, Savage, and players like this from them eras that are just going to get wasted away and not see the full potential, never break into Manchester United's first team simply because there's too many first team players. Well, we know what Ineos's pathway is for these young players, and we know what Ineos are trying to do. We are getting rid of players that are just going to get in the way, i.e. players that are going to stop the progress and the pathway of the likes of Biancheri coming through into Manchester United's team. He is a Welsh under-18s player right now. He has dual nationality between Wales and Italy with his parents and can decide which way he wants to go. He scored for Wales already in the under-17s. Which was in the last international break, absolutely destroying everything in his path right now. And it's no wonder he's been talked about as a Manchester United regular of the future. It just goes to show what work is going on behind the scenes. And when we get it right in this first team, what Manchester United can actually do in bringing through these young players. Wheatley will be on the bench and could feature against FC Twente this week. Is it too soon for Biancheri? I think so. There are other players that probably want to be there in front of him. And Manchester United, in the under-21 setup, you look at it now, if Wheatley goes into the first team, Biancheri will probably make that step up and cover Wheatley in their trophy. I think it's the FA Vase trophy that the under-21s are competing in this week as well. So if they go into the matchday squad for the first team, they cannot compete that week for any of the competitions that the under-21/under-18s are competing in either. It's one or the other. And sometimes you look at it where it's great to get that matchday experience and be involved in the first team squad. It is taking away game time and then progressing even more in the academy setup, because right now everything that's coming through Manchester United's academy is flourishing, and we don't want to be taking players away from that if they're not necessarily going to be part of it. It is the experience. I understand the positives of it and getting used to that matchday vibe with the first team, but still, you have to look at what's more important for these young academy players, which is what we're doing right now. Lawrence and Binion are all absolutely on top of their game right now at the under-18s coaching and 21s coaching levels, and Manchester United are just progressing and building on top of that right now. Biancheri's goals so far for Manchester United since he's been at the club, he is on a par with the likes of Wheatley from last season, even the Mason Greenwood sort of marks and how many goals that he got through. And I've seen where these players are now. Manchester United, if they look after these players the right way, will definitely prosper with these players in the future. Please let me know what you think about the video in terms of giving it a like. Make sure you get your comments in below. Obviously, subscribe as well to the channel. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. That was Biancheri, one of many Manchester United Academy players that we need to look after, and we are going to look forward to seeing in the future. I guarantee it. This is star quality at Manchester United. And credit to Ineos for making their mark and making this pathway very clear for these players.